Welcome to Ice Age, guys. I'm Dan Valentino.
I'm Catherine McVeigh.
And I'm Darcy.
So let's get right into it. The KHL might be losing some teams, guys. And that really doesn't come as a surprise because it has been failing for the past few years. Recently, one of the teams, Atlant, something I can't remember them really fully, their full name, but they traded their entire team to another team for one player because the team was failing. And there's rumors swirling that they're going to be cutting back on teams because of financial issues. So what are your takes on this?
I think the issue with it is that it's always been the second choice. You know, the NHL's always majority of players' goals, and like look how many players we have from Europe playing in the NHL right now. So a lot of players, you know, why would they, if they're good enough to play in the NHL, why would they play in the KHL, I feel like. So it depends on.
Okay.
And then you have situations like Jaromir Jagr, who played in the NHL, then went to the KHL, and then came back. You have situations like Alexander Radulov, who was in the KHL, came to the NHL, got in trouble, and then went back. So it's sort of like, I think it's very like fluctuating. I know when there was the lockout, a lot of players went to the KHL, but then once the NHL was back, they came back. So again, it's like the second choice.
Yeah, no, but it's also the NHL's biggest competitor.
Right.
Because a lot of Russians don't really want to leave, which is a problem. I know Rangers rookie Pavel Buchnevich only was going to come over if he had a guaranteed spot in the starting lineup and not being sent down to the AHL. So you have that threat of not really taking a chance on a Russian player because...
There was the controversy with Evgeny Malkin when he was first drafted. He was locked into a contract with the KHL, just being pressured by them and everything, and he actually had to escape the team. I think they were in Sweden or something, and he said he needed to go to the bathroom and ended up like sneaking out on the plane and came to the NHL. And
sounds like a lot of Cuban baseball players.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it was just a lot of pressure. There, like you said, a lot of pressure. But he eventually came to the NHL.
Yeah, didn't he go back to the team, though, that he played for during the lockout?
Yeah, and it was his hometown, too.
Yeah.
So, and he's like the hometown hero, and in the NHL, it's always, it was Malkin versus Ovechkin, and then in that case, it was like, oh, Malkin's the hero back home. So.
Yeah, no, and they just expanded to China. And, yeah, Kunlun Red Star, and they are not, they're not drawing well at all.
Do they have Chinese players?
They have
or
a
is it just
couple.
Mostly European?
They have a few Chinese players. I know.
Well, I think it's got to be hard integrating that style of play too. That's two completely different cultures of how they're playing the game.
No, that is true. I know they have like 2 or 3 guys that were actually born in China. I can't pronounce their names, so I'm not even going to try to say it. I know they have Zachary Ewan, who was a former Winnipeg Jets draft pick. And he became the first player to ever score a point in the KHL of Chinese descent. Given he's Canadian, but he's of Chinese descent. So it was a big deal for them, and he's playing for them. But I can't see that team really lasting much longer because they have a lot of guys from Finland on their team.
Yeah, I think they have a lot that they need to iron out before.
Yeah, especially if the KHL itself is having financial difficulties, adding a team where it's going to be a risk anyway.
I feel like if they had added a team from, Sweden or one of the Czech countries.
Well, they did just recently add Jokerit.
But that's not going to put a financial burden on them as much as adding a team from China where it's so new.
But I'm just saying, Jokerit is from Finland, and that's just, they're expanding that far. I'm surprised they didn't try to get more teams from those leagues into the KHL. Because I believe that's the furthest they have to go west, travel-wise. So it's just weird to see a team like Jokerit moving into the KHL. Because they might move back to Liga now at some point because of the failing of the K. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if more of the Russian superstars that left come back.
Right.
To help save the KHL pretty much.
Pretty much bury it. I believe.
Really?
Or like you mean leave the KHL?
Yeah, leave the K
to
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I was going to say, you could also have then players come from the NHL to try to.
Yeah, but usually like the Americans and Canadians that go there are at the ends of their careers.
Right.
They have like Rob Klinkhammer, Ben Scrivens. Yeah, no, it's just
I
it's
think
just like where
Max
you're.
Talbot might have
Yeah,
gone
Max
over there
Talbot
for
is
a
playing
year.
for
Currently?
Locomotive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just
It's always like a mishmash of
yeah, you have
whoever's
no
available
idea.
at the right time.
Yeah, no, I mean he was done over here in North America. He was just
Yeah.
going to be an AHL player if he continued playing, so he ended up going there. I know a lot of former busts go over there too, like Keaton Ellerby, who was
Oh,
a
right.
top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Played in
I remember him.
Barista Astana for a little bit, and now he's over in, I want to say, the Swiss League.
I remember he was he drafted by the Kings and went to the Jets or vice
Panthers.
versa? Panthers. Okay.
Then went to the Kings, and then went to the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, so, again, you have no idea what's going to happen with some of these guys.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the goal-scoring leaders of this season so far. Welcome back, guys. So, the goal-scoring leaders for this season through 15, 16 games so far is a bit of a surprise. It's rookie Patrick Laine of the Winnipeg Jets with 11, and then Michael Grabner in second with 10 goals. I don't think anyone would have predicted this at all.
Definitely not. Especially, I think when you hear a Winnipeg Jets player leading the league in goals, you have to think for a little bit. But I guess Patrick Laine is the real deal. I mean, I think he was saying maybe he wants to be on pace for 50 goals or something, but I think at this point he's on pace for 42 for the whole season.
That's still very impressive.
So
It's crazy.
Isn't that comparable to what was Wayne Gretzky's?
Rookie season? I don't know how many he scored
I
his
know
rookie season.
Ovechkin had 52, I believe.
Yeah.
Teemu Selanne had
He had-
70 something. Which
Yeah,
is
he's
just,
like 73 his
that's
rookie season.
nearly impossible.
Yeah, no one's going to come
Well,
close
I
to
think
that.
back then it was the early 90s people, or the early 2000s maybe. People.
No, it was
Was it the 90s? Like 92,
I want to say the
93?
80s actually, because the Winnipeg Jets were still around,
Right.
like late
He
80s,
was-
early 90s.
Late
But back
80s,
then,
early
the
90s.
playing
Yeah.
style, people scored goals like crazy. So
Oh yeah, but still,
In this
73
day and age.
goals
Yeah.
in a season is insane, no
It's
matter what
crazy.
age you're playing.
I
No
think
wonder he's
even
so
with the
fast.
Rangers too, the thing that I've been noticing is who's been scoring the goals. You know, it's not who they've been mostly expecting.
Oh
Look
yeah.
at Dan Girardi; he's scored 3 goals already this season, and he's a defense player. You know, it's
Well, he's scored more goals than he did last year already.
already in what is it, 10 games?
Is
15.
he more of a
15
shutdown
games.
defenseman?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's just been funny to see the different style of play that's been going on, and you know, it's not who you're expecting to be
Oh
scoring
yeah,
all
no,
these
you don't see
goals.
the top guys really scoring.
Which is good though. That's all you can really ask for from a team. I
Right.
mean, obviously you want your top, most
Oh, yeah.
paid players to be scoring.
But
you know,
they just have so much depth.
but if you can have a defenseman score 3 goals in 15 games, then you can't beat that.
Exactly.
No, I mean that's Shea Weber has 6 already.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a player like Dan Girardi, who
Well,
last
yeah,
year
no,
alone,
someone
what did he
that-
score? 2
Someone that
goals
you don't
this
expect to
season.
score.
Exactly.
That's what's just amazing about that.
What line is Grabner on?
He plays bottom 6.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Especially because the third line is always paired up against the first line of the other team typically, and then the fourth line just doesn't really get that many minutes in general.
Yeah.
But I think this has been the Rangers' style of play for the past 2 seasons, where they have had competitive lines each line they send out there.
Last year's fourth line was terrible.
Yeah, but look at their first 2 lines.
They completely revamped the bottom 6 this year, which they needed to do.
That's important.
Yeah, no, they're rolling 4 solid lines right now. they're taking a Pittsburgh Penguins approach this season, kind of relying on their top 4 defensemen, not really relying on the bottom 2, and then just rolling 4 solid lines and beating teams with their speed and scoring ability. I don't know when the last time it was that they scored less than 3 goals in a game.
Yeah.
So they've been killing it recently, scoring-wise. And Michael Grabner has the potential to score 30 goals. He's done it once before, and he's already at 10 this year. I have a feeling he might get back up there again this year.
Definitely. If you can get the right line mates going, get the chemistry going with someone with his speed, recipe for success.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is you got to keep the line for a little while. Even if a few games it's not working, I think the biggest thing is to build the chemistry amongst the players. So instead of changing it like they've been doing in years past, I like how recently, you know, they let it stay for a while. And even though a few games it might not be working, overall, if they see that the chemistry is there, I like that.
Right. And you do need to not lose faith in lines. I mean, the Penguins' famous HBK line from last year didn't even happen until, I think, January, February, whenever Hagelin came over. So,
I miss him so much.
I mean, Grabner's making him very replaceable right now.
I know.
Especially with this contract. I'm just saying.
It's not the same, Dan. It's not the same.
I understand, but for the money he wanted,
I know.
and the Rangers in the cap crunch, they could
back.
not. I mean, Hagelin, in my opinion, is not worth $4 million a year.
Yes. His hair alone is worth $4 million a year, Dan.
So there's some other guys. I mean, have you seen Mika Zibanejad?
He's not Hagelin. No one's Hagelin.
JT Miller.
Nah.
But, yeah, no, it's surprising to see this. I know Grabner just got bumped up to the 3rd line with the recent string of injuries because Buchnevich is out again tonight, and so is Kreider. Kreider got sent back to New York, I believe.
Yeah.
They're taking some more time to look at him. And they just brought up Buchnevich.
Overall, what is the diagnosis of Kreider? What is...
Kreider, I'm not exactly sure.
They're being very, not really saying, which is smart because you don't want to let people know.
It's an upper body injury. That's all I know. I know Buchnevich has back spasms again, which are bothering him. So that's why he's out once again. And, I mean, they're making it work. They had to dress an extra defenseman on, I want to say Saturday night. Was it Saturday? No, Sunday night. Sunday night. Because Buchnevich had to go out after warm-ups. So Clendenin just sat on the bench, didn't even play, which was baffling to me. But, yeah, no, they were still able to score 3 goals being down a forward.
That's impressive.
And Dan Girardi scored 1 of the goals. It was amazing.
I think he's been a great player this season.
He's
always
definitely improved.
been a good player, but I think this season...
Last year, he was terrible, though.
Yeah, but I don't think that can take away from the career that he has had with the Rangers. He's always been a steady defenseman, somebody that you could rely on.
I completely understand that.
But I think this year, I think maybe it just might be because last year definitely was not his year. So I just think seeing the improvement this year, it's definitely, it's good to watch.
Yeah, no, it's very surprising. But again, I just want to bring it back to Winnipeg because Liony, in my opinion, has been outperforming Austin Matthews so far.
Yes, he has been.
He has been such a bright star in Winnipeg right now because they have all these so-called prospects coming up. They just brought back Chase DeLeo, Nick Patan. It's just some of these guys are getting thrust into the lineup before they're ready because of all their injuries. And it's nice to see someone that was able to come in and actually produce right away.
Yeah.
He has one of the best wrist shots you'll see in the league, in the world even. He's just that good of a player.
I think we always talk about how good it is to have youth and, it's so important to have young players and stuff. But I think in this case, you don't want to rely too much on too many
He's
young
18.
players. But in this case, he is producing, so.
Yeah, and Kyle Connor also made the roster, who's 19. So they have 2 teenagers on the roster right now who have been playing pretty well for them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard about Brian Bickle.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was terrible.
Sclerosis.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, he was recently diagnosed with MS, and it looks like his hockey career is coming to an end.
Isn't that what Josh Harding had of the Minnesota Wild?
Yes.
A few years ago.
Yeah, but at this stage in his career, it looks like
Yeah.
it's spelling the end for him.
Especially with his playing style, he's a much like
Mhm.
hitting type player. So
Oh yeah, but his playing style was being phased out of the league pretty much.
right.
Yeah, the
True.
aggressor is definitely.
Yeah, the
seen
enforcers
or-
are gone pretty much. But it's a terrible situation, and we wish him the best, and hopefully he can overcome this disease. But that's all I got for this week. You guys have anything to add?
I think that's it.
Let's go
No.
Pens.
All right. So, I'm Dan Valentino.
I'm Catherine McVeigh.
And I'm M. Darcy.
Thanks for watching this semester. We'll catch you guys next semester. This was Ice Age.